No one would believe it if they hadn't seen it with their own eyes. A billionaire kneeling before a beggar, right there in the middle of the street. Cars slowed to a crawl, their drivers staring wide-eyed. Pedestrians stopped in their tracks, covering their mouths in shock. Phones were raised high to capture the unbelievable moment. The whisper spread like wildfire. Is that really Chief Williams? The richest man in the city. On his knees before a beggar. That moment shook the city, but it shook me even more. Because I was the billionaire who knelt. And my story begins long before that night. My name is Williams. People called me Chief Williams because of my wealth and power. I owned mansions with golden gates, cars with engines that purred like lions, and a business empire so vast that newspapers called me the man who could buy anything. People bowed when I entered a room. Men envied me, women admired me, and employees feared me. Outwardly, I had everything a man could desire. But inwardly, I was empty. Every night, I lay awake on my giant bed in my luxurious mansion. The mattress was soft, the sheets smoother than silk, but my chest felt heavy. My wife, Evelyn, slept on the far side of the bed, her back turned toward me, her body stiff with distance. She used to cuddle close, whispering dreams of the future into my ear. Now, she built a wall of silence. Our children, Michael, my teenage son, and Sarah, my daughter, had drifted far away. Michael rarely looked up from his phone when I entered the room. Sarah barely spoke at dinner, her eyes hidden beneath her hair. They lived in the same house, yet they treated me like a ghost. One evening, I sat at the massive dining table. Food covered every inch, roasted chicken glistening with golden skin, steaming bowls of jollof rice, fresh fruit arranged like artwork. But I ate alone. Evelyn had excused herself with a cold "I'm tired." Sarah had disappeared upstairs. Michael didn't even bother coming down. I lifted my spoon, stirred the soup once, and set it down again. The clink echoed in the empty hall. I leaned back and sighed, my eyes fixed on the glittering chandelier. What is the point of all this? I muttered. The next day, I was driven through the city in my tinted car. Outside, people hustled, selling, buying, running, laughing. I felt like a stranger in my own world. Then my eyes caught him. A beggar. He sat at the corner of a busy street. His clothes were torn, his beard wild, his shoes nothing more than scraps. In front of him sat an old rusted tin bowl with only a few coins inside. Yet his face glowed with a peace I had never known. Each time someone dropped a coin, he lifted his head, smiled, and blessed them. Peace be upon you. May your hands never lack. May your nights be restful. His voice was gentle, steady, full of warmth. I leaned forward, watching. My chest tightened. How could a man with nothing give blessings so freely? Stop the car, I ordered. My driver frowned. Chief, this isn't safe. Stop the car. I backed. The car screeched to a halt. I rolled down the window and stared at the beggar. He looked up at me. Our eyes met. He smiled. Peace be upon you, sir. His words struck me like lightning. I quickly rolled the window up, but that night, I couldn't sleep. The sound of his voice echoed in my head. Peace be upon you. The following evening, I returned to that corner. He was there again, blessing strangers with the same smile. A child dropped a coin in his bowl, and he blessed her with such tenderness that she laughed joyfully. I sat in my car, transfixed. Something about him drew me in. At home, however, things worsened. That night, Evelyn confronted me. She stood in our bedroom doorway, arms crossed. Williams, when will you stop pretending money solves everything? You give us gifts, but you give us nothing of yourself. Do you even remember Sarah's birthday last week? Or Michael's football match? I opened my mouth but no words came. She shook her head, tears glistening in her eyes. I married you for love, Williams. But all I have left is loneliness. She turned and left the room. I sat there, her words stabbing deeper than any knife. Michael, too, lashed out days later. I tried to speak to him at breakfast. Michael, how's school? He didn't look up from his phone. You wouldn't care even if I told you. Of course I care, I insisted. He slammed his spoon down. You only care about money. You've never been to a single game of mine. You don't even know what position I play. He stormed out, leaving me stunned. And Sarah, she barely spoke, but one evening she whispered as she walked past me, I miss the daddy who used to tell me stories. Where did he go? Their words haunted me. My wife resented me. My children despised me. And yet, that beggar on the corner had peace. One night, after another bitter argument with Evelyn, I left the mansion in fury. My driver asked where we were going. To the city, I muttered. We stopped at the familiar corner. The beggar looked up, smiled, and said, Peace be upon you, sir. This time, I walked toward him. People gasped. The great Chief Williams, walking toward the beggar. Phones came out, recording. I stood before him. My voice trembled. Why do you smile? You have nothing. The beggar's eyes shone with calmness. Because I have peace. And peace is greater than gold. Those words broke me. My knees buckled. I sat beside him on the dirty pavement. Gasps rose from the crowd. I whispered, Teach me. Please, teach me how to find peace. He placed his rough hand on my shoulder. Chief, you are rich in gold, but poor in spirit. The true riches are love, kindness, and peace. Without them, all this, he gestured toward my car, my suit, my watch, is dust. Tears spilled down my cheeks. I couldn't stop them. For the first time in years, I cried like a child. Right there, in the middle of the street, I knelt before him. Phones flashed, mouths dropped. A billionaire on his knees before a beggar. The beggar whispered, Peace be upon you. From that night, my journey began. His name was Daniel. I visited him often, sitting beside him as he spoke wisdom in simple words. Your wife doesn't need your gold, she needs your heart. Your children don't need your gifts, they need your presence. A man who wins the world but loses his family is the poorest man alive. I carried those words home. At first, Evelyn didn't believe my attempts to change. One night, I came home early and said, Let's eat together. She looked at me suspiciously. But we sat. The silence was heavy. Then I asked about her day. Slowly, her lips softened into the first smile I'd seen in years. With Michael, I went to one of his football games. He spotted me in the stands. His eyes widened in shock. When he scored a goal, I clapped louder than anyone. After the match, he walked up to me and whispered, Thanks for coming, Dad. Just 4 words, but they melted my heart. With Sarah, I knocked on her door one evening. Can I tell you a story? She looked at me with disbelief, then nodded. I told her the same bedtime story I used to when she was little. Her laughter filled the room. I miss this, Daddy, she said. It wasn't easy. It wasn't instant. But slowly, day by day, my family began to return to me. Then Daniel fell ill. I found him weak, coughing, lying in an alley. I lifted him into my arms and rushed him to a clinic. For days, I sat by his bed, holding his hand. "Don't leave me now," I whispered. He looked at me with tired eyes and said, "Chief, whether I live or die, remember this, peace is greater than gold." He recovered for a while, but age and sickness soon claimed him. When he passed away, the city barely noticed. But for me, the world stopped. I buried him with honor. Then I built a community center in his memory, a place for the hungry, the lonely, the broken. On the wall, I placed a plaque, "Peace is greater than gold." My wife and children stood beside me at the opening, their hands in mine. For the first time in decades, I felt whole. Now, whenever I look at Daniel's rusty tin bowl on my desk, I remember the beggar who blessed the billionaire. He gave me the greatest treasure of all, peace. And so, my friend, if you are listening to this story, remember, wealth is not measured by the gold in your pocket, but by the peace in your heart. Without peace, riches are dust. With peace, even the smallest coin shines brighter than diamonds. That is the truth I carry. That is the lesson I share. And if this story touched your heart, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Peace be upon you,